Yeah.
Okay, the first thing that came up, oh Lord, and it's in my ear. Um,
Yeah, they know they can't with them folk children.
They can.
Okay.
Don't
They
want no
can.
vulture.
The Lord say, spare the rod, spoil the child.
He did,
That's what he said.
but he didn't say what them folk children.
He's
Defect
I
say,
need the children.
the defect say hit them kids, go to jail.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why them children end up in trouble.
What they end up,
In trouble. Then you gotta go down there and get them out
Be
the
hot.
police station.
what they got
The
them out.
police station. Because we hadn't given them some form of discipline.
And they
But
can
Melo
have
gonna
some
tell us the right way
discipline.
how to
Okay,
discipline
so
children.
they're right. Carmelo, come on in the room and tell us how discipline folk children call.
Right.
Let me make sure these cameras right while I'm in the
Okay,
room.
okay. Y'all come on in the room. Make sure y'all don't tag, share.
Right.
We gonna say it again while the DJ bring us in.
The DJ.
Yeah. And the DJ can't even find any place.
DJ, we gonna wait on you, but that's okay. That's okay. In the midst of it, y'all go ahead and tag, share, tell these folks and tell some folk because y'all know there's a lot of blended families out there, and some of y'all don't bump tags
Mm-hmm.
with your boyfriend, with your spouse, with
Mhm.
your girlfriend, because you may have not wanted or did not appreciate the way that man or that woman talked to your child, or may have spanked your child. You may have felt like that was out of line. But guess what? These are conversation topics that should happen ahead of time.
We now on the right to
But
the
here we go. But here we go.
Right. Right. DJ said, we don't underwrite to the music. But get what? The folks that with the night switch, you already know what it is.
Right.
So,
I'm ready.
we ready?
Ready.
All right. Okay. Thank you, DJ. We
You're welcome.
appreciate it. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. So, Mello.
All right, first of all,
Okay.
let me introduce my professional self.
Come on, professional
So,
self.
I am a parent support coordinator for the Positive Childhood Alliance in Georgia. We're gonna just say that because I don't want to specify where I work. I don't need to know the people trying to find and follow me.
Yeah, right.
But so I do teach nurturing parenting to new mothers, single mothers, anybody, fathers, anybody that feel like they want to get a little bit of sprucing up on parenting. No, I don't have any kids biologically, but I do parent some children, and I done took care of a lot of people's kids too. Let's just put that out there.
So you have the book, the skills, and the knowledge.
Period. All around. Experience, everything.
I love
Gonna
it.
see
Okay.
All right, so I guess we can start off. Just asking questions. So, how do you feel about dating a person who have kids?
I would date someone who has kids. I think for me, I just think when we say kids, I'm not into. I don't know if I would date somebody with small kids.
But at this point in your life, how many people you dating have small kids?
Oh, there were some.
Oh, so they just started over.
My brother, you gotta remember, my brother, and then some of my girlfriends.
That's right.
I know my girlfriend, she has a graduate. She's probably been out 3 years, but she had 2 babies. And when I say babies, though, I mean, her daughter's been out of high school probably 3 or 4 years, but her babies are, I think they kindergarten and first grade.
Oh yeah, they young.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
She
then,
started all the way.
and
Yeah.
then my brother, he has a college kid, and his baby, she is 3.
Okay. Maybe you wanted to make sure it was still working.
So yeah, it is definitely, people are out there. And then also too, for me, and we all know we've talked about this. For me, I've dated in a younger space, so younger guys
Okay,
may have,
yeah.
you still have, kids in that they're raising. But I don't know. I think anywhere from about 5th grade, because at that point they're about 10ish.
They can walk. They got to be able to watch themselves.
Right.
Right.
If we want to go out on a date, they don't need to be interrupting.
Yeah.
You
So
don't need to be like, I got to find a babysitter. Or can the baby come with us?
yeah,
basically,
that's it's in that range for me. What about you, Zoe?
Same. I don't want to wake up at night, late at night with a baby. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't, Mello.
And that's okay.
Right.
Because we've raised our kids. And so I don't want to wake up out of my sleep having to change diapers. I don't want to have to do bottles.
Mm.
You know, all that stuff. I mean, my days and my time have passed. Of course, I got nieces and 2 nieces. And they're in that range, but hey, I can love on them and send them on to the house.
That's right. Yeah, I have a nephew. He is 6 months,
Yeah.
7 months, something like that. But yeah, his car seat in my car. I love it.
Right.
But packing up out, having to do that daily
Right.
again, I don't know if I want to do that.
Okay.
You'll date someone Mello with baby? A little bit infant baby.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
It depends on who they are. I mean, I have dated women with smaller kids. But I also enjoy the luxury of dating a woman with older kids.
Right.
Because we can kind of still be on the go. And then, you know, I can make sure the kid eat and all that stuff. You know, like, you're right, changing diapers. I got a 2-year-old, you know, goddaughter, and we in pull-ups right now, so.
Right.
You know. I have get enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess it would depend on where we are, and like, I guess if I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be mom, you know, like full-time mom,
Mhm.
because I wouldn't mind doing that. But I think that now, like, in my current situation, I can appreciate the kids being older. Because I can talk to them, I can ask them, what do you want? Are you hungry? Like, what do you want to eat? I ain't got to worry about nobody like, you know, like,
Kind of guess what's wrong.
Right.
I'm in here burning up oatmeal or something. Because my God, baby, know I don't cook. When I cook, she be like, no.
Gotcha.
So, just like,
Look, let me ask you a question. So from your experience, so when we talk about these parenting skills and having those type of conversations, I personally, and I'm sure, yeah, I know I say all the time, just because mom said don't make it right, but I think in this space, more likely it's to be true. That we don't have those conversations ahead of time when we're meeting our partners on how should and what we parent. Like, what is your parenting style?
Right.
You know, how we
Right.
always talked about having the tough conversations, or at least conversations in general.
Right.
I don't think we have those conversations to say, hey, so scenario, you know, if I meet a guy, and I don't think people are sitting down saying, when they're heading in that right direction of being serious, I don't think we're sitting down saying, how do you normally parent? Or what would you do in this situation if my child did X, Y,
Right.
Z?
Right.
well, I mean, for me, I feel like whenever you're going into a situation when the families are being blended, you can't always impose your way of living or the way you want to raise them. Yes, you can approach the conversation like, hey, I'm a nurturing parent. Some things with me are just like, whatever, you know. I'm only gonna say something when I need to say something. But like for me going into a situation where I am dating a woman who has teenagers, and then I do have a 2-year-old goddaughter, and I'm very present in her life. Everybody that follow me on social media, y'all know that she
Right.
with me all the time. But for me, you know, I don't. When she say do something and all that stuff, I don't say nothing. I just sit there and listen because I'm listening to what she's doing and how she's doing it, so I'll know moving forward if I'm in a setting by myself in a one-on-one with a kid, how I'm supposed to talk to him and how he'll receive it for me. But for the most part, I'm not going into nobody's parenting and telling them, yeah, because I do this for a living, I'm not telling nobody, hey, you can't do that. Oh, you got to do this, because everybody was parented different and everybody parents different.
That's
right.
And you have to be open-minded with that. Some parents are a little bit more lenient with their kids. Some micromanage. I know for me, like I said, like dating a woman that has teenagers is easy. Like she was telling me, you gotta start using your parent skills. I was like, what? She was like, watch this. Come in and turn the lights off and da da da. And I'm like, I could have got up and did it. She like, no, that's what the kids for.
No, that ain't what that's for.
I said, oh, okay. I ain't know. So one day I was like,
You
he
did
came in
not.
there and he was like,
You did not.
and went back in there and I was like, it worked just like that. It worked just like that. But it just also too the type of person you are. Like I'm a caring person, I'm a loving person.
Okay.
So it's easy, and kids love me. I've been working with kids since I was 19 years old, and I mean I tell you I'll be 38 this year. So it's almost 20 years. I've been working with kids, and that's from 0 to 18. So I have like I have that kind of just that aura. So kids gravitate to me, they talk to me, even if they don't know me. They like, hey, what's going on? Da, 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 da. So like for me, it's an easy transition. It's a smooth transition because I work with kids. I work with parents. But for people who don't have kids, that's where the trouble comes in. And that's what we gonna kind of today give y'all a little bit of pointers on how you can approach those situations when you're not a parent and you're dealing with a person who has kids. For me, the first thing would be is to observe. You can't go into, that's just like anything that you do. You can't go in there just telling people what to do. You don't even know what's going on. So you got to observe and feel it out. See what's going on. Feel the space. Like I said, some people, they do nurturing parenting. They do gentle parenting. So that means they don't whoop. They don't beat. They don't hit their kids. They sit down and they have meaningful conversations with them. Because in some environments, it does work.
Yeah, because
it works.
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of people say soft parenting don't work. And I think it just all depends on, everybody know their children.
It depends on the child.
Absolutely. And so to your point, everything is not going to work for every family.
That's right.
So definitely taking an observation, and it made me think of the workplace. If you're leading and you observe your team, you know how to discipline or at least interact, let me use that word, with each and one of those people and talk to them differently. Some people don't like the sugarcoating. Give it to me straight. Some people you do have to soften the blow in order for me and you to have a meaningful conversation. So I like the observation part.
Adults and kids are two
Totally
different
different.
people.
But it's not.
Kids.
Because, no, wait. Let me say it's not. Because my supervisor can't talk to me any kind of way. You cannot. Because of who and how I receive stuff.
Right.
For you, you might not want that soft talking and Felicia come in here, and then them come in here and let's talk and da 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 da, and let's have a conversation. She might can come to you and say, Mello, hey, man, you know, good time where da 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 da. Approaches and the way you interact with anybody needs to be known in order for it to be impactful.
That's true, but with children, they don't know, they don't have the ability to say what they're not going to accept, right?
Right.
So if I grew up
Right.
with
In
the
some
mother
cases,
that's,
in
in
some
some
cases.
cases.
That's what
if
I
I
was
grew
going to
up
say,
with-
depending on what stage we're talking about.
Right, younger kids, right, I was
Mhm,
speaking of
mhm,
younger kids, so if you're talking about 8 or 9 years old, and if I'm that mother that's gonna give it to you hard, and no matter what, right, that's what that child is going to accept. They're not gonna know anything different than what they were brought up in, and that's it.
To that, also, it has to always be a balance when it comes to parenting. That's like always like, I go to my mama before I go to my daddy, because I know my daddy gonna be tough and my mama gonna be soft. So I feel like it's always equally important to have a balance. However, there should be no waiver on the boundaries. And I think that sometimes that's what happens in blended families. My mama, she tough on me, but I know if I go to Mello gonna be kind of cool, so I might be able to get a little wiggle room in. over here.
Right, and I agree with that.
Mhm.
But I want to go back to what Zoe was talking about because I think that's a great point that she made because I was telling somebody that earlier today. We kind of talked about that, and then we'll come to you guys and kind of see what we have out there. Make sure you guys are tagging, sharing, dropping your comments, and if you want to make any comments, definitely call. We tag the number, right? That's okay. We'll go ahead and put it in the chat and tag it. But to Zoe's point, you're right. And I agree with some of what you stated. That's all that child is going to know if that's what we're giving.
Do y'all know the number by heart? Oh, Lord.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know. If anybody know the number that's out there, our sticky note is not over here.
No, it's not.
Our sticky note.
Right.
Right. And so that's all the child is going to know, to your point.
Mhm.
And I was telling somebody today that the biggest thing is knowing if I have 2 children and I know disciplining that child with spankings I can whoop them all day long. And if I'm not getting results,
That's right. You gotta try something different.
that's my whole thing
Yeah.
about knowing our children. Just because you're doing whippings, that child may be the one that are so headstrong and can some kids just can handle and stand. This is how some kids are. Man, I'd rather get my whipping and go on about my business because they're not gonna get
It
punished.
doesn't last long.
It doesn't last long.
Mhm.
So my point is, if I know my child and I know I'm not getting results with that, just like I have to learn that adult on my team, and I'm not getting results, I need to try something different.
That's because that's your mindset.
But that's what,
Right.
absolutely, it's
Right.
my mindset, but this is why we're having this conversation.
That's right. That's right. Because I
Yeah.
grew up with a father that has gotten softer in his age,
Mhm.
right? But when we were younger, all he knew was how he was raised, right?
Mhm.
So everything was tough for him. So that's how he knew. All he knew was what he was exposed to. So that's how he raised
Mhm.
us
Mhm.
in that with that tough type of love, that tough type of talk, right? That didn't mean he didn't love us
That's
because
right.
he did.
Mhm.
But he only knew how to love us the way that he was shown love, which was you gotta go out there and get it. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. I ain't finna baby you. You gonna have to handle your business on your own, right? So it wasn't a whole bunch of softness.
That's
Now
right.
as he's gotten older, he's gotten a whole lot softer, and it's a beautiful transition to see. But they can only give you what they know until they get to a point to where, like you just said, when I'm open-minded enough to know when I become a parent, I knew what that felt like for me.
That's right.
I didn't want that for my daughter.
That's right.
So I made it my business to be a little bit softer with her coming up, but still have those boundaries to make sure that she gets some form of discipline. Now, spanking them, yeah, Trinity got spanked.
So now
These folk
so
can't,
now
y'all
you're
can't
no
get me
whipping.
now, she 18, she done got spanked.
Y'all can't get me now.
Y'all can't get me now. But yeah,
So what if that man had came in now? Here you remember? Here's the observation.
you're right.
So to Melo's point, he's come in, he observed, he sees do the whippings.
Mhm.
Then now, here he comes.
No.
And see that? What Melo said, do the observation.
But when I mean observe, I mean like observe the type of parenting skills. Not meaning that you got to mimic everything that I do.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna
Okay.
mimic everything because we don't have the same characteristics.
That's
we don't
right.
have the same traits. So when, like I said, when it comes to the parenting thing, and you got to think about it now. The word abuse now is a very broad word.
Yes.
Mhm.
Abuse no longer is just a bruise on the arm or a
Right.
black eye.
Right.
Abuse now is emotional,
Physical.
physical,
Mhm.
verbal.
Mhm.
So you cuss a kid out, that's a form of abuse.
That's
Mhm.
They'll put a case out on you for that.
Well, these folks do it every day.
But that's what I'm saying. But just being technical about it is not appropriate. Like just because and it, you can get caught up in something quicker than the parent can. As a non-parent, I've seen it happen before. I've seen
Absolutely.
people make a
Glad you
mistake.
said that.
People make a mistake. They may be in the store and they may say, "Get your ass off from over there." And here goes Susan over here. This child is being abused.
That's all it takes.
Now you got a 45-day investigation going on. They're prying into all of your life, and all you did was say, "Get your ass from over there." But had you said, "Hey, come from over there," Susan wouldn't have called nobody. So you just have to be very careful. And when it comes to other people's kids, you have to have some type of sensitivity when it comes to it. Like, me personally, I'm not whooping nobody's kids. Even if you give me permission to whoop your kids, I'm not whooping your kids. Because if I had kids, I probably wouldn't whoop mine. And I'm just being honest.
No, that's fair.
I'm not going to whoop anybody's kid. I'm not going to curse anybody's kids out. I would ignore them, or I would definitely ignore some kids, because I have done it before. Sorry about everything to them kids.
Don't let Keisha climb up on that daggone sofa and knowing that
All I'm
she's
gonna say,
all
all I'm say is, Keisha,
See?
what would your mama say?
But what if Keisha mama don't say nothing?
Keisha mama say something. Trust me.
Yeah.
Her mama say, "Bitch, get your mama out."
Right.
That's what I'm
Another
saying.
time.
And then do you
You're
want
right.
me to go get your mama? But see, what I tell, and then when I deal with smaller kids, for me, I'm like, "Hey, let me just talk to your mom." Cause what I'm not gonna do is go back and forth with nobody that's younger than me.
I understand.
Especially a child. I'm not gonna get into no shouting match, all that pouting and running around. I ain't doing none of that. I dated a girl with 3 kids. She had a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Bless you.
Yeah.
What the folks say?
The 5-year-old, he liked to curse, call people bitches all the time. The 7-year-old, that was my partner. We used to be in the studio together. She liked to rap and all that. The 9-year-old, he just played video games all day. But when it was time for them to do something, she would say, "Mello, go tell them such, 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 such." And I was like, they ain't gonna listen to me. Them your kids. You tell them that. Now I tell them stuff like, "Hey, y'all come on to eat. Y'all come on, let's get in the car. We gotta get ready to go." But you talking about going in and disciplining them, they barely listen to you. They ain't gonna listen to me.
So what does that look like when you're looking to go take something further? Like when you're talking about really blending this thing and we're about to get married.
Oh,
So-
well, see, let me tell you
Okay.
something.
Yeah, let's talk
Come
about
on.
that. But Melo,
Yeah.
what are people saying?
All right, we got a couple of comments. We
Okay.
got-
Y'all make sure y'all continue to comment, tag, share, please.
All right, Jeff is in the room.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
Jeff
Jeff.
said, "Hello, here I am. I think in the ways of Bernie, I think you should try to treat family members the same as your own family members." He also said, "Amanda, when we get in our family together to meet, this is your Cali connection still available, baby."
I hear you, Jeff. Thank you.
Amanda, I don't have any crumb snatchers that will get in the way.
Okay.
It's
Thank
Jeff.
you for letting me know. Thank you, Jeff.
We have Makaya. She said, "Soft parenting doesn't work for me. My firstborn was disciplined the old school way, spare the rod, spoil the child." Hold on, what? Oh, the second one, I took another route with talking. "You call my firstborn, he will respond, 'Yes, sir, ma'am.' But thing 2 responds with 'yeah,' whatever that means." And she said, "I'm not whooping nobody kids either." So my question for you, Makaya, would be, if you were, you raised your first child the old school way, and if you brought a man or lady or whatever into that situation, how would you expect them to parent your child? Like, would you expect them to do the same thing you do, or would you like a gentler approach? And I'm saying that to say because my parents were remarried. Well, my dad remarried after my mom. My mama didn't want my stepmama whooping me, even though she did, and it ended up causing an issue. But my mama didn't allow other men to discipline me, even when she was with them. Like, they could say to me, like, "Hey, you know, that might not be a good idea." But as far as, like, coming in there trying to whoop me or cussing me out, my mama didn't play that.
Yeah, and so to piggyback off of what you asked her, and guys, make sure you go ahead, as we mentioned, tag, share, bring other people in the room so we can have these meaningful conversations, because we know that a lot of you guys have experienced this, or that at least know someone that has, right? So for me, when my kids were coming up, definitely. I mean, I didn't even whoop my kids. Yeah.
Bitch up there with him, baby. She popped say one time. Miller, when I tell you that girl called me crying.
Yeah.
Her heart was broke.
Because I've always known people say, just whoop them, just get. I just felt so bad, and my thing was, I just think it's a better way.
And then too, you gotta think about it. Children are gonna become what? Adults.
That's right.
That's right.
If you beat them every time they do something wrong, what you think they gonna grow up and do? Somebody look at them sideways, they about to bash their head.
They ready to get scrapping.
That is not true. No, I would be.
I would be too. Not by my mom, no. My dad be.
Yeah, I got some. I got my.
I got some
share with
spankings
this
for
when that
real.
came up.
But I ain't beat nobody upside the head.
I mean,
Now I'm not tripping upside the head a couple 2-3 times, but
Right.
she needed that though too, cause sometimes the soft talking
Mhm.
and the I love you stuff, if that's not working, I gotta try something different. So what is left in my toolkit
That's
besides knocking you upside the head?
Now, I used to get in his face because I don't want people to think, I don't discipline.
Right.
I just think there's a different form of discipline for each
I
child
agree.
to
Right.
get the best result.
Yeah.
And for him, it didn't take whippings all the time for
Right.
me to get the best results out of him.
Now that's true.
I can look at I can do that old school mama look,
And they gonna get yeah.
and you will get right. Or me, as he got older, getting in your face
Mm-hmm.
to let you know I'm still, just because it's mama, just because you don't got older, don't try me, because we can get scrapping in here.
Now that's true. And I think it depends on the situation too. Like you said, everything doesn't require a spanking.
Right.
Even some stuff I was spanked for, I don't think I should have been spanked for.
Right.
Certain things that I spanked my daughter for, maybe I should not have, right? But again, you live, you learn, and you do something different. But what I will say is every single thing she didn't do a spanking. I definitely tried to find that balance in what's worth sitting down, having a conversation with her about what's worth taking the telephone, taking the games, putting you on punishment, those type of things before we just resort to a spanking. Where when I was brought up, everything was a spanking.
Married a whipping.
Yes.
Right.
And when
That's
I'm sitting down,
That's right.
why you decided to do that, you would get the spanking.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's your child.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want a man that, whether you marry him, boyfriend, or whatever, do you want another man or woman disciplining your child in that way? I feel like it should be a boundary. Like, certain things you should be like, all right, you know what? Let me let your mama or your daddy know.
Absolutely.
Like, when the first time my stepmama whooped me, first of all, I was in shock. Cause I was like, I know the fuck she did it.
See what I'm saying?
I was in shock.
Right.
But she tore me up.
Right.
And I called my mama.
See?
Right.
That was wrong with y'all
Mama,
right there.
she whooped me.
That
Mama
was
said, she what? I said, she tore my ass up.
Right.
Mama said, I'm gonna call your daddy. I'm like, okay. I called my daddy. He didn't want to hear. Cause he like, what you do? I ain't do nothing for to whoop me. But I was probably about 7 or 8. But I was in shock. Cause I was like, she ain't my mama.
But if they have had those conversations, meaning
I don't
your
think that my
stepmom
mama-
and your stepmom and your dad.
And see, that's the thing. They had a conversation. And my daddy was like, you do what you need to do. But remember, my daddy was a young daddy. He
Okay.
listening to my grandmama, Lord
Okay.
rest her soul. I miss
Okay.
you, grandma, love you to death. But my grandmama was harsh.
See?
She was spell the rod for the child.
Bingo.
Beat them kids.
That's right.
It don't matter whether they're your kids or not.
That's
I
right.
see my grandma hit somebody else's children.
I hit somebody at church too. You bring to my house. If your children can't get disciplined. Depending on what's going on, for real. Your children in here just cutting up, showing out, and they not listening when I say stop, quit, sit down. Look, if you leaving with me, you trust me enough that I ain't gonna kill them.
That's right.
But I may pop you on your butt and say, hey, you better sit yourself down till your mama get here.
Understood. That's
So,
right.
But for me-
but in those situations, I think your mother, your father, and that stepmother should have had some conversations.
It was a conversation
Afterwards.
It was a
Afterwards.
conversation. She ain't
Right.
with me no more.
That's right.
But she did discipline me.
Okay.
But she ain't put no hands on me.
That's right. Did it work?
I mean,
Did you respect?
That's right.
Did you respect her
So, in the
more
beginning-
before or after?
I think that it wasn't until my teenage years when I seen her going through something that I learned to respect her. Prior to that, I didn't respect her because I didn't like her.
Okay, so you just didn't like
So
her anyway.
I didn't like her.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
I was a kid. I didn't understand why. I mean, I knew that my mom and daddy weren't together. I had never really seen them together. They were, divorced and separated before I was even able to, realize what was going on. But I did used to see my daddy with other people, and I liked them other people. They had kids and all kind of stuff. This lady ain't have no kids.
So they didn't have no kids and they
She
got
didn't have
blamed.
no kids, and then she come in here and she all cute and dainty, and I'm looking at her like, who is this? She looking like I ain't ready to be no mama.
Right.
Like I'm still young, my daddy young,
Right.
and my daddy trying to make her stepmother of the year, and she don't want to be that.
That's right.
So as a child, you can sense when the person don't want to be bothered with
That's
you.
real.
And
That's
she
right.
did not want to be bothered with me.
That's
That's
right.
right.
So I was like, okay, well, I don't like her neither.
Mhm.
Now, when I became a teenager, there were some situations that had happened that made us closer to each other. Well, we kind of had no choice but to bond.
Mhm.
And when we started to bond, then she started to talk to me about, hey, I was young when I got with your dad. Your dad was 21, I was 19. Your daddy had a kid at 20. I was still a kid.
That's right.
So I didn't know nothing about being a mother.
That's
I didn't even care about being a mother. I was just trying to date your daddy.
That's right.
And for me, it was not, I was in the way, but I was in the way.
Mhm.
Because I had to be picked up every Wednesday, every other weekend. So y'all got to plan around me. And for somebody who don't have those type of responsibilities, it's different.
At
And
that
to your-
age, that's a lot.
Right, and to your point that you bring up, and we'll go to the comments and y'all tag somebody, share it with somebody that y'all know definitely are either going through it, about to go through it, about to blend families. Make sure you have brought them in the room on this discussion. But for both of you guys, Zoe and Mello, what do you think about like how you're saying she didn't know how to be a mom to what she was saying, and you feeling some kind of you when you were in that space, that a certain vibe that she may not necessarily not have liked you, but didn't like the situation,
Yeah, it was too much for her.
that it was too much for her. Do you think that people, and here's why I get a halt sometimes about people talking about children in a kind of way, or either saying anything about children, because I believe sometimes people just don't like the situation. They may not even like your children, but they like you. So I don't
But you
need
can't
it.
do that. When
That's
you
right.
when you are choosing to date somebody and they have children, baby, it's a package deal.
That's right.
You got to understand it, and even in my lifestyle, we have to understand. Sometimes date night is family night.
That's right.
Instead of, and this has happened like recently. We had made plans to go out on a date, but then the kids wanted to hang out. So guess what? I was like, well, shoot, let's go to the movies. Let's do something with them. You have to be with somebody who has that type of mentality so where they can say, okay, well, cool. It ain't always got to be about us. Just us two. It could be about all of us. But again, it has to be somebody that want it. It's no, I like you, but I don't like your kids.
In a way.
It's no, I want to be with you, but I don't want to be.
But it should
Yeah.
be. But
They
get
do
what?
it. They
Them
do
folk
it.
do. And get what they'll sit around and say to their homeboy. Man, shout out. Hey, kid.
Yeah.
Boy. I mean, like, seriously.
That's true. That's true. But they like her. You know what I
But
mean?
boy.
But in that situation, you ain't trying to be with her.
Man, you
ain't
try
to.
to.
No, not
if
you saying that.
you ain't trying to build. If
But
you're
that
not
don't
trying
mean
to
that
build
don't
a
mean her
relationship,
children
that
ain't bad just because.
Oh no, there are some terrible kids out here.
Yeah.
And there are some parents who allow their kids to
To
be
be
terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you're dating somebody with kids, you have to create boundaries. I'm not gonna be if I ain't gonna let nobody disrespect me out here, just because I like you don't mean I'm gonna let your kids
That's
disrespect me.
right. That's right.
I mean, I left a whole situation because of kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what do that man do in that situation? I like you. I want to be with you. But sorry, the way you just let the children do X, Y, Z, then what happened?
So maybe, okay, go ahead.
I had a family member that went through that. Very close family member that went through
So
that.
let's talk about
So
it.
let's talk about it. The children were horrible because the mother, again, allowed them to be horrible, right? So he tried to, this family member tried to create a bond with the kids, right? Tried to talk to the kids, even tried to talk to the mother. You know, sometimes I think you let them do too much. They don't need to be eating candy first thing in the morning. They don't need to be up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning playing that game. You need to kind of maybe monitor their phone a little bit more. Because if they peeping some stuff that you may not be peeping as a mother, if I'm bringing these things to you, but you're not listening, then what?
Then what?
That he left. I mean, but he didn't leave without attempting
That's
to
right.
create a
That's
bond
right.
and have a conversation with the mother at the same time.
Gotcha.
Right? But if I'm not listening and I'm not taking anything to heed and I just put my kids on this pedestal like my kids don't do anything wrong and nobody better not touch them and nobody better not say nothing to them, then guess what? If you don't allow me to be equal in this thing, then like you said, I gotta go.
That's right.
Yeah.
So for me, my thing would be, if you know that you want to be with somebody and you trying to blend the family, you may see some things going on. My number one word is redirection. It's not always, don't do this, don't do that. Show them how to do something different. All right, I know you like to eat sweets in the morning. All right, let's make some cinnamon toast. You see what I'm saying?
That's okay.
Or I know you like this, so look, I'm gonna go get some toaster strudels and let y'all put the icing on there. Make your own little part tart or something. It's ways that you can do things to create
I love
a
that.
different type
I like
of.
that.
And it also, it just goes towards your leadership skills. Like how are you able to lead a family? Whenever you lead in situations like you said, go back to working and being a supervisor. Everybody don't have the same type of qualities you
That's
have.
right.
Everybody don't possess the same type of standards that you have. So when you're supervising them, you have to like kind of adapt a little bit. You know, redirect them when they're going off course. And that's the same thing with kids. Like if okay, I don't. My girlfriend is a great mom. Let me just put that out there. Hey boo, she's a great mom.
Hey, boo.
You know what I'm saying? But I have dealt with people who have I've dealt with one particular person who she had the 3 kids. She kind of allowed her kids to just kind of be all over the place. But when I came into it, I created structure for them. I made it okay for them to want to do homework. I made them value learning time because those are things that I put emphasis on. But then I also gave incentives for these things. All right, so look, everybody sit down at the table. We're going to do our homework for about an hour. 7:30, we're gonna run out and get some ice cream. Get what them kids doing. Can't read, can't write none of that. They just
But they gonna put some down.
Mellow, it is right. So it's like, when you coming into, if you trying to build a family with somebody, you have to you utilize your leadership skills.
There you go.
Like redirect things. Okay, I'm noticing that the kids is playing the game all night to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So get what I'm gonna do this weekend. Well, I'm finna get them up out the house. We finna be out all them and wear them jokers out. By 9:30, they gonna be falling all over the place. And I had to do that with my goddaughter. Like, my goddaughter be up to 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Not with me. I be over there beside her.
Right.
But she be up. She taking diapers off. She on my computer. She done lock up my phone. Can't get no phone calls.
Right.
She doing all kind of stuff. So I say, you know what? Let me go down here to Chuck E. Cheese, pay this $7.99 a month for their membership.
Okay.
I go in there now with her and out. By the time we get back to the house, it be 7 o'clock. She can't hold her head up.
Right. Give her
So
a
you
hot
have-
bath.
Yeah, create a different environment. And but also, y'all to understand this, what kids like to do. They like to play video
They
games.
do.
They get on there. They be talking to each other.
Mhm.
Like they be on the phone. Like
Yeah,
they
cussing.
yeah, all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm just saying this: no kid should be cussing,
that's right.
but
They
you
children.
can't stop them
That's
from doing
right.
it.
They kids.
Cause when they ain't with you, they cussing like some
You
sailors.
better
I promise.
believe it.
Mhm.
So
But
allow
don't
them
cuss
to be
at him,
themselves and
Quisha.
allow them to be themselves, but also teach them respect.
Respect. That's
Like
right.
don't come cursing at me. Don't curse at
You
adults.
can't cuss in my house.
You're right.
Close your door. Curse in your room.
Right.
Now once you cross this threshold, this
Right.
is
That's
no
the
curses
thing.
zone.
It's no curses
But you go
on.
up in there, you call them all kind of motherfuckers and all kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
stay in there with it.
Yeah,
But
Don't get out
again,
there.
redirection. Like
I like
you want to
I like
change
redirection too.
instead of like, especially if there's somebody that you want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. Like, figure it out. My girlfriend daughter, she's very quiet. She don't like to talk. She don't like to be in places with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time we went out, she didn't enjoy it. Because she was like, it's too many people in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm walking, people bumping into her. She like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, boom, let's go to the movies. This my kind of place right here. Because ain't nobody in there but us.
Right. Right.
She
Right.
enjoyed the movie. She ate all the popcorn and candy she wanted. Nobody bothered her.
That's right.
So you have to be able to adjust and learn. That's why I say observe.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta observe.
And I think observing goes on both ends.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? That person coming in observing your parenting skills,
Mhm.
right? And then you sit back as a parent and you observe their interactions with your
their
children,
kids.
with your child.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like Tamilo's point, I've been in the same situation where I brought structure to some kids that didn't have any structure.
Mhm.
And you'll be amazed as to what they accomplish and what you accomplish with them
Mhm.
and the stuff you pour into them when you do open those type of doors for them. But at the same time, you watch the interaction between your children and whoever you're dating. Your kids, it's gonna show whether they want to be bothered with that person or not, whether it's genuine
Mm-hmm.
and they really want to be a part of your life and in that child's life, or whether they just there for you. You know what I mean?
Let's go to comments, and then I want to ask the question to our second part of what I want to ask.
All right, so we got David. He said it's not the other parent's place to spank a child. It's the biological parent's place to handle it, bottom line. Reason is because you don't know what they have on their heart when they spank or whip, especially nowadays. Great to
I
see
agree.
everyone
I
again.
agree. That's why I was saying some people, I don't know.
Is this Tunisa? If I mess up your name, sorry about everything. As a parent in a blended home, I treated my son as if I spit him out. We spend money on them and do parenting duties. I made sure his dad and mom knew when he messed up.
That's right.
That's what I'm on. I'm on that too. I'm on that too. Antonio said speak on it because my situation is very hectic and that's why I'm still single. I come with 3 kids and a lot of folks run from that. Okay, so Antonio, 3 kids. Is it 3 different baby mamas? Do you got baby mama drama?
Right.
And how old are your kids? Because a lot of, and just being honest, everybody out here got kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, even the dykes. I'm sorry, the lesbians. Excuse me, the lesbians. Even the lesbians.
In Jesus' name.
Even the
Yes,
lesbians,
Lord.
they got
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Everybody got kids. Sorry about everything.
Okay.
You know, we use that
That
term.
was right.
We use that term from time to time.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody got kids. So, how are you introducing you being a parent in your situations? Are you like, oh yeah, child, I got 3 kids, they bad as hell? No. Or are you saying, hey, you know, I'm a father of 3? How are you presenting that
That's
to
right.
people? Because
The way that
everything
you
is about
just said
present-
it, I can answer that.
I got 3 kids, they bad as hell.
No. That second one.
Oh, I'm a father of 3.
Mhm.
Then that's how. I don't see why they have a problem with it.
Right.
Unless you got some crazy baby mamas,
Mama,
hanging
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But just in all actuality, a mature woman, whether she got kids or not, if you're presenting it to her in a respectful and a mature way, she gonna be okay with it.
Mhm.
But if you come to her on some hood,
Yeah.
I ain't seen my
yeah,
kids and see
yeah.
my baby mama won't let me see my
Well,
kids. I don't want to deal
For
with it.
for him, he's a single father of 3 kids.
Okay.
So they live with him.
Oh, well, kudos
Okay.
to you, Antonio.
Yeah, so they-
Kudos to
Yeah,
you.
they live with him.
What
So what I wanted to ask, and then we'll pick back up with the comments. So when we talk about blended families, and Zoe was saying, you know, the outside person coming in and observing your kids, But I think when we talk about the blended part piece, and guys, let's talk about this. So if he has his kids, you have yours, you're blending those together. The way I discipline my kids may not be the way that you discipline yours. Now we're talking about being a family together. I'm gonna use Antonio for an example. He's a father, a single father, 3 boys. Antonio discipline his kids the way that he disciplines his kids. He comes along, he meets this female, she has her kids, she may discipline in a certain way. Now we blended together, but I've never learned your parenting way, and I think we do that a lot. So the way I know how I discipline my boys is probably how I'm gonna come in and discipline yours as well if we've never talked or had those conversations.
I see that piece, but hopefully throughout the dating process,
Exactly.
you guys have had situations where the kids are together.
Or y'all talked about different
There you go.
situations.
Right.
Like, girl,
But that's what I asked earlier. Do you guys think people even have those conversations?
I do.
I don't think so.
I do. I think
I
that.
did in my
I think-
situation.
I think that people who are actively parenting do. Now, a baby daddy that ain't actively parenting, he
There you
ain't
go.
speaking on no kids.
That's right.
Cause them kids out of sight, out of mind for him.
That's
But
right.
Sometimes he
there's a
don't
lot
speak
of
on
there's a
when it's
lot of
drama.
there's a lot of men that may not be the Antonio, but they have their kids on the weekends or something like that.
Mhm.
So this may be my weekend to get my kids. So now that I am with my girl and we're serious about being together and bringing, so now you gotta understand, on my weekend, my kids will be with us. I just don't believe people have those conversations.
Have to.
And I believe we should.
Right.
And when we talk about this conversation, we're not talking about from a shoulda, woulda, coulda
Coulda.
standpoint.
Right.
We're talking about realistically, unapologetically real. I promise y'all, and y'all put in the comments,
Yeah.
I promise you, people don't have these conversations more than what we think they should.
That's
They
right.
should, but I think people, I got my kids, you got yours, we like each other, we don't date it for X amount of years, even though the kids has interacted with each other. I think people have so much controversy in that space that they do it on trial and error. And that's what I'm talking about.
You're 100% correct. Because if I'm 100% honest, in the beginning, no, we didn't have those conversations. But as we progressed
That's
in the
right.
relationship,
That's right.
then we started to talk about
Exactly.
how
Mhm.
we're going to discipline those, how we're going to discipline these kids. Or I would say something if I saw him discipline the boys too rough or something like that. You shouldn't do that. You know, I don't think you should try this. You know what I mean? So then we had, but initially you're right. Those conversations were not had.
Yeah, I think once we start figuring that we're getting serious, I think it should be a conversation, because other than that, we do it on trial and error as our boys or kids around each other. I see the way how you just mentioned, so that you may talk to the boys and then I might say something, or you might say, they might see that I've let the kids get away with too much, and then he may say something. So it's based on the interaction as opposed to, hey, let me ask you this. Based on if you had this situation, what would you do?
Right.
I mean,
Because I'm gonna tell you something. I think trying experience is the best teacher, but I don't want your experience to be at my child's expense.
I would agree. I would agree.
Because most men talk harsh. They just talk hard unintentionally. And because you talk to your boys that way, don't mean it's gonna fly with my girl.
And that's very true. That's very true.
I mean, yeah, I understand it. I understand it, and that too comes with. And let's go back to the
Okay.
dating thing.
Okay.
When we're dating, we're having conversations, getting to know each other. We talked about this weeks ago. Just talking. Bring it up. How do you parent your kids? Cause I know I'm a little rough with mine. But how are you with your? Oh, I'm very gentle. Well, how can we blend that together?
Absolutely.
You have to ask questions and have to talk.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to talk. if you don't talk, you don't communicate, nobody knows nothing. You'll be in a situation where you, like you said, you'll be looking at it and it'll be trial and error.
Mhm.
You be scared to say something because you like, no, I ain't gonna say nothing.
That's right.
Mhm.
I
Right.
don't want to do this.
Mhm.
And then, like, for somebody like me, I don't say too much to people, kids anyway, because I just feel like I don't know how. It depends on how my day is.
And that's true though.
You know, I
Everybody,
really-
we all don't have
If I'm having a
bad
bad
days.
day and they doing shit, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. My bad, Lil Kiki. My bad.
Right.
Right.
But on the realistic side of that, you just, like you said, you have to have those conversations with people. Those are conversations that need to be brought to the table as soon as a person say, I'm a parent, or I have kids. Now parents, especially men, you know, they have this this point of view that they have to raise their sons to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way the world is. And to a certain degree, in certain aspects, I would say yes. But then when it comes to building and maintaining relationships and being able to function in the society that we have, an angry man is not the right type
No,
of
And
man
that's not
nowadays.
yeah.
Very
and-
good point.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that point up because a lot of times with the way that they have many of the boys that in their minds that I can't be soft. I don't know if that's the right word.
And they can't be.
And we're not talking about that soft. I was
Right.
talking about, you know,
You
But
can't
that's
show
the right word,
emotions.
emotions. That's right.
can't
Thank
show
you, so.
emotions.
You
Yeah.
know, it makes them be unattachable,
Mm-hmm.
detachable
Mhm.
to
They can't emotionally connect.
connect.
Yeah.
Great with their female.
Mhm.
Or people, period.
People,
There
period.
you go.
They're great.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so we don't want, as we talk about these conversations and we bringing up our kids, them to be so tough where you don't even know how to connect emotionally with people. And I was telling somebody the other day, we'll get back to our comments, when we talked about what do you want in a man. That was one of the things I stated. Somebody who can identify and be emotionally connected, because I'm an emotional person.
Right.
And so if I'm sitting around and I have one of my bad days and my breakdowns, and you don't even know what to say, and you like shot it. Got so
Oh, that's the worst, because that's when you need your partner the most.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But we be done brought up our men up so tough that they just looking at me, man. So then they back at the barbershop telling their homeboy, man, Shawty messed up yesterday, and I just didn't know what to say. Right.
I just said, baby, it's gonna be alright.
So, like, one of the activities I do with my parents is a cultural portrait.
Okay.
And basically, that is just for them to identify the different roles that people played in their life. Fathers, mothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and their kids. And I asked them two questions. What do you think, how do you think this role is supposed to be played, and how was this role played in your life? Because
I love that.
well, and then this is where the conversation comes in. All right, and I'm just gonna speak on just a heterosexual relationship right now. If a woman and she's dating a man, right? To a woman, a man is supposed to be what? A provider, a protector, head of household. Okay, so I'm having this conversation with my kids. Before this man, we even get to blending and get to living and da-da-da. Like, hey, this is somebody that, you know, potentially I would like to marry. When I marry them, they become head honcho of our home. Not saying that your role or my role is being diminished,
That's right.
but we're
Right.
just going to take a step back
Mhm.
and we're going to allow him to lead us. So this is what respect, all of those things come into play. So when I do this activity with them, it always amazes me because and I'm not saying nobody is a bad parent if any of the parents I serve are watching this, but it'd be like the worst of the worst. And they've had, when I asked them to identify the male role models in their life, my daddy was a protector and a provider. And he parented me this way, and he taught me this, and he taught me that. why in the hell did you do that? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because we put so much emphasis on the daddy, but guess who we forget about? The mama.
Mhm. Mhm.
So while daddy protecting, serving, and all this other stuff, mama just doing whatever. Mama ain't got the backbone.
So mama just, what somebody said the other day, and I hope you're watching,
Mm-hmm.
mama just going with the flow.
Yes.
And that's what I told them the other day. Just because we go with the flow, don't make a better situation for for your family,
No.
for the situation, for the residents. Speak up.
Exactly. So you going with the flow. Mama just do whatever daddy say do. So now, okay, I respect daddy, but I don't respect mama.
That's right.
That's
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So it's like, okay, like this is what it is. So when we talk about blending these families, my kid over here ain't got no respect for me. How the hell I expect his kids to have respect for me?
That's
Great
right.
point.
So you gotta like when it comes to like roles and things like that, have a family meeting. I tell my families all the time, dinner time is the best time to eat. When you sit down to eat, it's the best time to have conversation.
I agree.
And one of the things, ding 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 light bulb, when we are on
It's like light bulb.
when we talk talk about getting married, most times now, not all, most times, this is why these people say go through marital counseling.
That's right.
But to what you just talked about, I think this should be a great part of marital
The
counseling.
parenting
The
piece,
parenting
especially when
piece.
there's kids involved.
Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
two, you have to understand like when you marrying somebody, you're marrying.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I know you don't.
If she wasn't
You marrying everything that come with them.
That's right. They family and all.
Even they anointing ass mama or whatever. They are still a part of that. No, they don't have to be the center,
That's
but they're
right.
still a part. But when it comes to kids, conversations have to be had. Let's all sit down and talk. Look, you know what? Me and your mom, we've been together for a year and a half now, and I'm ready to
Cause
take this thing to the next level.
they're still people.
Yeah, and they still are important.
So they're still
factors.
important
People
factors.
forget the kids all the time. They go out and propose. Oh, I asked the mom and daddy, did you ask her kids?
That's right.
Did you talk to her kids?
That's
Because
right.
you're gonna affect their lives
Mhm.
more so than you're gonna affect the mom and dad. Like, the mom and them down, they got their own life going on. They're gonna be like, yeah, go ahead.
Right.
But with the kids, so and just depending upon the age of the kids and who the, you know, how mature these kids are,
Right.
a conversation needs to be had with them. Like, hey, look, I feel like I want to marry your mama, but when I marry your mama, I'm marrying you too.
Right.
I think I give kudos to my cousin Jessica. She's real big on the family meeting, and she'll call a family meeting in a minute.
All right, Jessica.
And she did the exact same thing when she married her wife. Before then, she always made it her business to sit down and have conversations, and she asked the girls before she proposed,
Yeah.
you know, to let them know this is what I'm doing. But
How do
she
you
was
feel
already
about
playing an active role in their lives so they could blend those parenting skills. But what about this? I was thinking while you guys were talking, we say the man, right?
Mhm.
What about these single mothers, right?
Mhm.
So if my mother was a single mother and it was just her, those women can sometimes be tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guess what they do? They raise their daughters to be
Tough like
tough too.
That's right.
So it's just me. So now the child is brought up to respect the mother. But if I've never had anybody else in my household, it's very hard for a child to come in and, like you said, even if I say we're gonna let him lead,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's gonna be very hard for that child to have the same respect they have for their mother for that person. So I think the sitting
Talking about
down,
being
the man, right?
Gotcha,
But the
gotcha.
sitting down and having dinner, making sure that you include the kids, I think that stuff is important. But I think as this younger generation goes, even me, even in my house, we're not always at the dinner table when it's time
That's
to eat.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I go upstairs
That's
and
right.
Trinity can go in her room, and that's what it is. But I do think it's important to create some type of time to have those important conversations. I think we miss the ball with that a lot.
I encourage I tell my parents at least once a month. Like, it don't have to be just once a month. And I say, hey, you ain't got to cook no Sunday dinner. Get some pizza. Everybody sit down at the table, let everybody self-serve themselves, put it all down in the middle.
Mhm.
Everybody get what they get while we sitting at the table. So how's school been?
Mhm.
Like open up the floor and
Mm.
then bring in those tough conversations. That's how you introduce sex and
That's
all
right.
those other things. You have to make a comfortable environment.
Mhm.
And I think that there's people just like I said, sometimes they tend to forget that kids are
Oh, people.
That's
I
right.
said that the other day too.
That's right.
Let's read some of the comments, see what we got. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all are there again, tagging and sharing and bringing
That's right.
people into the conversation. This is a great conversation.
Put them phones down
Yes,
and let's
yes.
have some
They say,
conversation.
I feel like if the parent won't make them respect you as a mate, then that relationship is not for you. Stick and move.
Mm.
Get move.
Jamal said, welcome back. It's been a long time.
Yes, we
Jamal.
was out for the 2 weeks. We are back and back on it.
David said, I'm not disciplining your badass kids. You do it. I got enough going on by taking care of her spoiled ass. David.
Probably so, David.
Flips there.
Right.
Tunisa, if I'm messing up your name, I apologize. Well, I think when you get to meet that kid that's gonna tell you everything you need to know as far as how the father or mother is with the child. A parent in a child relationship will show you if the parent was not doing his job. Also, when dating, the other person will spend so much time talking about their children a lot as opposed to a parent who doesn't care.
That's true, because I do that a lot.
Me too.
And people probably be tired of me talking about mine all the time, but that's the great point.
Now, what I know I do find myself doing now, as you grow older, as you go through things, you learn to do things differently. When I date now, I tell, when people ask me do I have kids, yes, I have a 18-year-old. And then as the conversation progress or as we progress in the dating realm, I let them know, my daughter, I'm really funny about my child.
Mhm.
And let me tell you why.
Me too.
She's very clingy. She's
Mhm.
been through a lot with her father. So I'm giving you the groundwork.
Mhm.
So that you know if you're for real interested in me, you know how to kind of come in
Right.
and how to deal with her. Because that's gonna be the quickest way for me and you to fall out.
Right.
That's right. And
It's about my child.
I agree, and I
Mhm.
think that's where we have to have the open
Yes.
conversations
Yes.
at the top to let people know, hey, here's the way that I am when it comes down to my kids.
Mhm.
It gives people the opportunity to decide if they want to stick around or not.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
And then if so, then I'm not saying that I'm not open to learning new ways, because you may discipline yours a certain way and I might discipline another. I'm not saying that I'm not open to new ways, but what I am saying, I don't want to learn it through trial and error with you and I, and because see, once I'm in a zone about mine, I'm in a zone about
Yeah,
mine.
because once you created the damage is there.
That's right.
There's no way to erase it. But
And then the child, how do you come back from that?
That's
From
right.
with the child.
because now
That's
it's
why
like,
you
mama,
gotta-
you allowed this to happen.
Mhm.
And that's why even with kids, like especially when you the other parent, you coming into that role, be honest.
Mhm.
Like the first time you lie to a kid, they gonna hold you to that.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my girlfriend, her son, like I tell him, I be like, hey, you do X, Y, and Z, and pay you on Friday. He be like, alright. Shit, before I blink, then she be doing it. I'm like, damn, ain't even Friday. I'm like, shit, well, I'm trying to let you know it's already done.
Right. So
And
Friday
when Friday hit, I'm like, what the cash app is? He not
Right.
finna text it to you.
That's
Right,
That's
right,
And I'm
right,
going to break
right,
him off.
right.
But if it was been a situation where I told him that and I didn't do it, he probably would be like, hey man, nah, we don't fool with Mello, because Mello said she was going to do this and do that,
Mhm.
and she ain't doing it. And that's how it is. Don't come in over promising.
There you go.
Don't come in trying to be something that you're
That's
not.
right.
That's
Now,
right.
one thing
Mhm.
about me, I'm going to feed you. I don't care. I'm going to feed you.
Right.
So you can always count on me for a good meal.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And
I
I think
can't cook either, but I try to cook for you.
Right.
And like I cooked for my girlfriend and her son, and he was like, everything good except for the rice mellow. And I was like, I told him, I was
Cause they
like,
will be honest.
and I
They
said,
will
you
be
know what?
honest.
I was like, I ain't gonna cook for you no more. You like, that's cool. And he didn't want to tell me, like, you fucked that up.
That's right. That's right.
Like, he come out, he be like, who cooked? Your mama cooked. He be like, okay. I'm Hey, I'm good for buying you something to eat. I come in there and be like, hey, tell me what you want to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
alright.
Yeah.
Then you know, but you can't come in like. You have to walk into
That's right.
not walk. You gotta crawl into
And I
into
think
that.
people, and I think we jumped the gun on that a lot.
Yeah, because you want to
Mhm.
impress the mom.
That's right. You
You
want to
want
come
to
in
be
rah,
so
rah, rah.
perfect, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm guilty of that. You know,
Me too.
you
So
want
I
to be
think
you want to
we
be
all
so
are.
perfect for the
Mhm.
person. You want to show them like I can do this, I can do that, and sometimes you get a little bit ahead of yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you get into a situation where you cannot maintain what
There
you
you
were
go.
doing.
That's right.
Because like you said, I'm big on follow through in a
Mhm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that follow through with me, then how are you gonna have that follow through with my kids?
Kids. That's right. That's right.
Like I need like when you dating somebody and it's just whether your kid if you got kids, they got kids, y'all bring them together, you still need to be a reliable source.
That's
Yes.
right.
You cannot be unreliable.
I love that.
You
That's
might
right.
can be unreliable with your kids and they expect that, but these kids over here ain't used to
There you
instability.
go.
That's right, and that's why. Oh,
Oh,
Lord
you just
Jesus,
said
you
it.
just said it. You just hit it on, and that's why it's so important to have those conversations because y'all might come from two different worlds.
That's right.
And so I am big about not picking my kids up late.
Right.
And don't please, Lord Jesus, because I don't want my child standing out nowhere
By themselves.
by themselves. Now I know there are things that will happen, but I don't want that to be intensely that you did not make my child important enough to
Right.
make sure that he or she is not standing or waiting because you okay with picking your child up late.
Right.
Because you at the barbershop chilling and talking and on the Tuesday it's on a conversation and now you trying to lead late switching for lanes
Mhm.
Don't kill my kids.
because
Trying to get there.
trying to get there to pick them up because you did that with your kids.
Right.
Right.
Do you see what I'm
And
saying?
that's why I'm saying like it's important to talk, have them conversations. Even asking kids. Kids will tell you, oh look, don't pick me up late. If
My
you-
mama don't pick me up late.
My mama let me play my game about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Don't
Don't
tell
cut
me.
me up.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't cut the game. All
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like I said, that's what I said. You gotta observe. You gotta see what's going on because when you watching and you observing the way a person is parenting their kids, like you automatically know no and yay.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Like you know, all right. I know that and we all know young boys they love to eat.
That's right.
Mhm.
So I already know I'm finna open the refrigerator up. Even though I know the young man done ate already,
Mhm.
he's still hungry.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
No, I had told my girlfriend the other day, don't even ask him is he hungry, cause I know he's
Yeah.
hungry. Just ask him what he want to eat.
That's right.
And she was like, okay, parent. I mean,
That's right.
I done already observed it. He always hungry.
Yeah.
Kids are always
Yeah,
hungry.
yes. For something. For something.
What would be your what comments do we have and what would be your closeouts?
Our comment was y'all definitely dropping knowledge. David said he out. Good day, David. He said he enjoyed us as always and we have
Thank
a
you,
blessed week.
David.
Okay.
And then Tori, shout out to Tori. He just popped in on the live. He said
What's
you
up,
already
Tori?
know 100% him. You gotta put in there what him mean again. I keep forgetting.
Yes, definitely. Please do.
I think I read the other comments. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so in closing, I would just say, when it comes to positive approaches to blending families, 1, observe, 2, listen, 3, redirect, and 4, just don't overpromise. Don't go into the situation trying to be super dad, if especially
Mom.
right, super dad or mom, especially when you know the dynamics of their relationship with their biological parents, and just always understand
Great
too.
point.
You can never feel that. You can never take that place. Parents, regardless of wherever they drop the ball at, they always perfect to their kids.
That's right.
Mhm.
So don't try to go in as a step parent or other parent and
I like what you said. Be a resource.
yeah, definitely be a resource. But don't try to go into that situation trying to be more than this or trying to down this to
Their
build
parents.
yourself up.
Mhm. That's right.
Just go in there with love, show love, exercise love, and lead with love, and everything else will fall into place.
I love it. Don't forget the family time. I like the point you brought up about that and being consistent and reliable to those kids because that's what they deserve. But bring that family time back, that dinner time stuff back, even if it is once a month. And that applies to me in my household too because I don't do it enough. But putting those electronics away and having direct conversations. And if you're dating, that's the perfect time for you and your person to be having those parenting conversations even then. Let me tell you what Trinity did. Now let me tell you what I did. Now what would you have done? You know what I mean?
Right.
So those things are definitely important, and I definitely love the redirection. So you ain't never too late to learn to parent better.
That's right.
And if anybody out here, y'all need some parenting, you know, we are moving to DeKalb County now.
Okay.
But if you don't live in DeKalb County, just holler at me.
They holler at your girl, Mello. The one thing I want to point out before we leave, and I'll let you close out completely, Mello, is that to what Zoe was just saying about in that dating space and that family time, definitely an opportunity for yet again for you to have your kids interacting, both families to have their kids interact with each other.
I agree.
Because nothing worse than people trying to put their families together at and they right. I think they've never met. You gotta along the way put them in a space where everybody now can get all of that out before the marriage and everybody's getting along because the last thing you want is for all that chaos to be once you've gotten married.
That's right.
And a great way to do that is not to be in an intimate setting. Do it in the public.
That's right.
Because people prone not to act up in public.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You'll
just to
find
be
that.
on the safe side, go to the park, do a barbecue. Or, you know, say, hey, y'all, we gonna meet up here, we gonna go have dinner again. I feel like the best dialogue is over food. I don't know why, maybe because I'm fat, I don't know. But I feel like the best conversations are had over a good meal.
I agree.
When you sitting down at the table.
And some sense of fun to get people
It is.
interactive.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
and also utilize like team building stuff
I like
like
game night. We
Yeah.
do game night.
game night is
It's
a good
competitive. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And then throw some money on the table.
Yeah.
We do left, right, center.
Oh,
And get
girl.
them to talking while they playing left, right, center.
Girl, I was one. Man, I was in there putting everybody off the table.
Oh, yeah.
Me off the table.
Those things are important. I think as families now, we don't do that enough. We need to bring some of those things back. We allow the TV and social media and those computers and them tablets and phones to overtake everything. Put those electronics down and have some family time. I think that's cool.
This was great.
This was
Yes.
all right, guys. So anybody out there, if y'all think y'all need some little sprucing up on your parenting skills, you know, just call me.
Yeah.
Shout out to 105.7 The Phase.
Yes.
Little Talks. Make sure y'all go like, subscribe on YouTube, and share the YouTube page. Shout out to our YouTube listeners. We didn't get to y'all comments today, but we can answer them in the comment section.
That's right.
Yes.
Just drop them.
Thank you, Facebook family, for always tuning in, and we will see y'all next Monday.
That was good.
That was great, Mello. I love it. I think this has been one of
That was good.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
learned
I learned.
good. Can you hear me?
I was just
Yes. I learned a couple, 2 or 3
Yeah,
things.
me too.
Yeah.
I like to
Me
redirect.
too. I definitely like that. I know my brother gonna call me like, you done told my business all on these phones.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all stop talking.
Okay. You want me to come do it?
How I get off of here? Okay.